Genesis chapter 4 shows us the world after the fall. The garden is gone. Innocence is gone. But life continues. Sin has entered the human story, and now we begin to see its fruit. Adam and Eve had a son, and they named him Cain. Later, they had another son, and they named him Abel. These were the first children ever born into the world. The first family, the first brothers. Cain worked the ground. He tilled the soil, planted seeds, and harvested crops. Abel kept flocks. He watched over sheep, protected them, and cared for their lives. Both brothers worked. Both labored with their hands. Both understood that their provision came from God, and in the course of time, both Cain and Abel brought offerings to the Lord. Cain brought fruits of the soil, something he had grown, something he had worked for. Abel also brought an offering, but Abel brought the firstborn of his flock, the best, the first, the most valuable. The Lord looked with favor on Abel and his offering, but he did not look with favor on Cain and his offering. This moment changed everything. It was not that God rejected Cain as a person. It was that God rejected Cain's heart posture. Abel honored God with faith and obedience. Cain offered something but not his best, and Cain became very angry. His face fell. His heart darkened. Jealousy quietly took root. The Lord noticed, and in mercy, God spoke to Cain. "Why are you angry? Why is your face downcast? If you do what is right, will you not be accepted?" Then God gave Cain a warning spoken with love. Sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it. Sin was not yet in control. Cain still had a choice. But Cain did not respond to God's voice. Instead, Cain spoke to his brother Abel. We are not told what he said, but we know what followed. While they were together in the field, Cain rose up against his brother Abel and killed him. For the first time in history, human hands shed human blood. A brother killed a brother. Jealousy became hatred. Hatred became violence. And the ground, once cursed, now received blood. Then the Lord spoke again. "Where is your brother Abel?" God already knew the answer. This was not a question for information. It was a question for confession. Cain answered with hardness. "I do not know," he said. "Am I my brother's keeper?" But God replied, "What have you done? Listen. Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." Nothing is hidden from God, not even silent sins. God pronounced judgment. The ground would no longer yield its strength to Cain. He would live as a restless wanderer, without roots, without rest. Cain cried out, "My punishment is more than I can bear. Whoever finds me will kill me." And once again, God showed mercy. The Lord placed a mark on Cain, not to shame him, but to protect him. Even the guilty were not abandoned. Cain went away from the presence of the Lord and settled in the land of Nod, east of Eden. He built a city. Life continued. His descendants created tools, instruments, and metalwork. Human knowledge increased, culture developed. But so did violence. One of Cain's descendants, Lamech, boasted about killing. Sin multiplied from generation to generation. Yet God was not finished. Adam and Eve had another son. They named him Seth. Eve said, "God has granted me another child in place of Abel." Through Seth's family line, something changed. People began to call on the name of the Lord. In a world growing darker, God preserved light. Genesis chapter 4 reminds us that sin spreads when ignored, but God's mercy continues to pursue humanity. Even when violence increases, even when hearts grow cold, God keeps a people who seek Him, and the story of redemption continues.